Hey YouTube, this is Zach with Achilles Financial. Happy Friday, happy Memorial Day weekend. Let's dive into some big news that we have coming up relating to the Chinese stocks that are listed on the New York Stock Exchange and the NASDAQ and what's going on there. Before I get started, I do want to ask if you find this content helpful and enjoyable, please leave a like and subscribe. It really helps. That being said, let's dive in. So yesterday, by unanimous consent, and I'm going to repeat that one more time, every single person there said yes. The Senate passed a bill that said that they are going to have additional securities or additional measurements taken for any stock on the U.S. Stock Exchange. The important thing here is that this is going to be very prevalent and in relation to Chinese stocks. So everything on the news that you're going to see is going to be how this information relates directly to China and the market there. So we've already seen grumblings of a trade war. Again, there's been a lot of pressure on China surrounding the coronavirus. This is the next step associated with that, primarily due to Luckin Coffee. The reason that I highlight this information is because Luckin Coffee was committing essentially fraud just a short time ago. You can see here they were even right before the height of the pandemic trading at $26 a share, and that was down from March 5th where they were $41 a share. And as soon as that market opened back up, they tanked, and they actually were frozen up until I guess earlier this week before they were able to trade again, and people got out. The reason for that is because Luckin Coffee was committing fraud in the amount of like $350 million of revenue that they were actually never received. So what does this mean? The reason that they were able to allow that is because not every stock on the stock market or every public company on the stock market is required to disclose all of their full financial details, such as you would do under current GAAP, which is generally accepted accounting principles here in the United States. So what this law is aiming to do is to provide additional insight into those stocks. The two key pieces of it is that you're going to be required to have at least 3 years of audited financial statements, as well as you must say that you are not owned by a foreign government. So the reason that this is in particular related to China, and for those of you who didn't know, most Chinese stocks will showcase that you have the ability to click here on the China stock list. If we click on this, most of these companies are going to require two things. One, that they go and receive those audited financial statements and they follow GAAP accounting principles. And two, they have to say that the Chinese government does not own these stocks. So that's very important for the security surrounding the United States in terms of the transparency that we have into their stock market. The reason that that law is required is because we could have another instance. If you think of Alibaba, if you look at their stock, they are a massive company. I mean, look at the market cap here, $570 billion. However, what if they came out and said that actually most of their revenue was a lie or they'd been hiding their expenses? That's a lot of money that would just crash. The reason I highlight all this information is because I think that this is just the beginning. Again, this has only been passed in the Senate, not in Congress, or rather the House, so we need to be watching that. So what does that mean for us? So it opens the door for a lot of plays. You can already see that I actually opened up a play earlier this week on BIDU. And what I did there is I was able to buy it right before all these shot up, the premiums. And then I was able to sell into another put, which allowed me to basically have this for free. So I'm looking to see some moves here. The reason that I am putting out this video prior to the market open on Friday is because it is Memorial Day weekend. That gives us 3 days for additional news to come out, for additional tension to build. I anticipate that China is going to react. We're going to see a lot of moves here. We've already seen China have some interaction with Hong Kong at this point, and that has stirred up a human rights movement, a governance movement. So we need to be watching what happens here. But you can even see just all these stocks are already going down. I think that this is going to continue. So when you have a company now like Alibaba who was announcing earnings this morning, and we expected very strong earnings. You can see just over the course of the week, they went into earnings today, and we actually just saw that move right there. I wonder if that means they just announced. So they're actually going through that process right now. But we expected really strong earnings. Look at this buildup, and then we're coming back down because of everything going on. You can watch this stock price drop as we're watching and recording this right now. So what does this mean? What does this give us the ability to do? I'm looking to add to my put positions here. So my NVIDIA contracts are going to expire today. That's going to give me some additional free cash flow. However, it's not going to be till later. So I'm going to hold, or I can't hold on to those right now. I've got $139 of cash that I'm able to spend. I'm going to be looking at some of these mid-tier companies, the JDs, the Tencent. The reason I'm looking at them is because I think this is where we have quite a bit to fall, but it's not going to be a dramatic drop. I mean, these premiums, this was prior to market close yesterday. I do want to emphasize that these premiums are going to be higher. If we look at the play that we have available here, over the course of the past week, we can see that we've got quite the run up, and this is coming up over the course of a really strong month. Do I think that we're going to necessarily get all the way back down there? I don't know, but the problem right now is we do have really big premiums on this. So what I mean by that is look at the pricing for these puts. You can already see that we're getting pretty high premiums, and that's just next week. I'm actually going to look at around a little bit farther into the June time period, and then maybe look at some of these 46s, 47s. I'll have to see what it looks like today. Again, I think all of these are going to bounce up today, not the stock, but rather the premium pricing, and I want to make sure a good one. So the ones that I'm looking at are here on China. I like PDD, I like Tencent, and I like JD because they're some of the larger companies. But these stocks are going to fall. It's just a matter of when and how fast and what we see over the weekend. I do think that we're going to see some increased news over the weekend, which is why I want to hold it. So that's what I'm looking to do. These are the moves. Check it out. Let me know in the comments below if you have a different opinion. And as always, if you found this content helpful, please leave a like and subscribe. Thanks everyone. I'll talk to you later. Bye.